Hello everyone, welcome to Pushpa's English classes. So here we are going to do chapter 3 from grade 10 English textbook, two stories about flying. The second chapter from the same text, that is Black Aeroplane. And we are going to deal with all kinds of MCQs that might be asked in our term 1 examination. So let's begin. How was the weather when the pilot started flying his aeroplane? So the options are cloudy, clear, stormy, foggy. So we do understand the text and then go for the answers. So I would just like to tell you a few things about how does the text begin. So it says very clear in the text that it was a clear sky above me and there wasn't a cloud in the sky. That means it was clear. The weather was clear when he started the journey, right? So the answer is clear. Why was the pilot flying to Old Dakota? Because he wished to have morning breakfast with family. That is the answer. It is given very clearly in the text that I was dreaming of my holiday and looking forward to being with my family. I looked at my watch. It was 1:30 in the morning. See, he wanted to have his morning breakfast with family. So it's a question related to vocabulary. Dash means the same as land outside town and cities. We know that a land which is outside town and cities is known as countryside, right? So the answer is countryside. What happened when the pilot was about 150 kilometers away from Paris? I would like to read few lines from the text so that we answer other questions as well. So the text reads as Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me when I saw the clouds. It was storm clouds, okay? So they were huge. So you might get an option, he saw storm clouds or he saw clouds. So that is to confuse you. The answer is storm clouds, and they were huge, and they were even compared to black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. So the answer is storm clouds. So we already know the answer to this question. What does the author compare clouds to? The author compares it with black mountains. See, my dear students, the answer or the question might be very simple, but if you are not thorough with the text, you might even go with monster. Who knows if you don't read the text, in between the lines. So the answer is black mountains. So here in this question, I saw the clouds, storm clouds. What does storm clouds mean in the extract? So I'm just, showing you different ways or different kinds of questions that might come to us from a simple paragraph from the text. So storm clouds definitely means huge and dark clouds. It's already written in the text that the clouds were very huge. So it is huge and dark clouds. Why was the pilot happy to find his aeroplane behind another aeroplane in the black clouds? So the answer is, as the other pilot was helping him come out of the storm clouds. We have seen that, how he gets stuck in the black clouds, right? So he says, I saw another aeroplane. It had no lights on its wings, but I could see it flying next to me through the storm. I was very glad to see another person. So he lifted one hand and waved. Follow me, he was saying, follow me. Because he feels that the other person knew that he was lost and he was trying to help this pilot. So the answer is, as the other pilot was helping him come out of the storm clouds. Why was the pilot frightened again? And the options given to us are another plane chased him from behind. No, he was not frightened for that. The airplane flying in front of him had vanished. No, it was there to help him out. The fuel was not sufficient to reach the destination, and the clouds had disappeared completely. So if you just refer to page number 38 towards the end of the text, it says, he turned his aeroplane slowly to the north in front of my Dakota so that it would be easier for me to follow him. So that plane has come there to help the pilot, not to chase him. It was very good moment to see, or he was feeling very happy to go behind the strange aeroplane like an obedient child. You might even get a question with what is being compared, you know. So this entire thing is being compared to an obedient child, the way an obedient child listens. Similarly, this pilot was listening to that stranger aeroplane. Okay. After half an hour, the strange black aeroplane was still there in front of me in the clouds. Okay, this now the only fear was that there was not enough fuel in the old Dakotas last time to fly for 5 or 10 minutes more. I was trying or struggling, and I was also feeling very frightened again, but then he started to go down and I followed through the storm. So the answer is, the fuel was not sufficient to reach the. Why do you think the woman in the control room laughed? The answer is, she thought the question preposterous means absurd, because she thought that the pilot was very experienced and yet he wanted to meet another pilot who was scheduled to land at the same time, but there was no aeroplane in sight. So she found the question very absurd, making no sense to her, as she was clueless of the struggle that the pilot had to go through it. And it is surely not an attempt to tease her, because it is not even given in the story, and the story never says that she ever thought that he was trying to tease her. So the answer is, she thought the question was preposterous. Select the option to fill in the blanks below. If risk is risky, then what is the equivalent for that? The answer is hazard, hazardous. Uh, Option A is wrong, because it should have been danger, dangerous, and not dangerously. The third option is given peril. Okay, it should have been perilous. Okay, and then for the caution, it should have been cautious. So the correct answer is hazard, hazardous, and the other options are wrong. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me when I saw the clouds. So based on the given extract, you have to choose the option that lists the meme which would be the most appropriate response to it was an easy flight. So the answer is option C, 3, 1, 2, 3, where we are told that you spoke too soon, because before completing the flight, the narrator mentioned it as easy flight, but we know later in the story that the flight turns out to be full of adventure and surprise, right? So I think you spoke too soon is the best response to the comment. How do you describe the risk the narrator took? The answer is impetuous. Impetuous means impulsive or hasty decision that you take. It was not calculated at all, because he did not try to figure it out the risk that he might have to face. It was avoidable. It was not unavoidable. It was definitely avoidable, as he could return to Paris, and it was also not navigable, because he could not see far through the thick and heavy clouds. In what way might the reference to the Dakota as old be relevant? The answer is, its ability to negotiate the storm clouds might have been suspected. So here reference to old might mean the inability to stand heavy storm clouds during the flight as suspected by the narrator. So the answer is D. Read the statements given below and then select the option that best describes the given statement. So the statement 1 says, the narrator's desire to reach home and see his family made him complacent. Statement 2 says, the narrator was unaware of the threat that the storm clouds presented. Statement C3 says, the narrator's decision making was quick but irresponsible as well as dangerous. So we know for sure that the passage does not mention that the narrator was content or complacent before reaching and meeting his family. That we don't know, it cannot be inferred. Okay, the narrator was aware of the threat that he might have to face. Okay, because the phases like old Dakota that we just discussed, and I will take the risk, they tell us about this. So statement 2 is false. Okay, we cannot say that he was not aware of the threat. He was aware of the threat. So statement 2 is false. Okay, and the narrator's decision was impulsive. So statement 3 is correct. So we will go with the answer C. 1 cannot be inferred, because we don't know the narrator was complacent or satisfied before reaching and meeting his family. So that is why the answer says C is correct, because 1 cannot be inferred. 2 is false, because he was definitely aware of the threat, and 3 is 2 because his decision was quick. Okay, and at the same time it was irresponsible as well as dangerous. So this is again extract based MCQ, where you are given an extract and on the basis of that you are asked to answer this question. So I'll just read the few lines. I was safe. I turned to look for my friend in the black aeroplane, but the sky was empty. There was nothing there. The black aeroplane was gone. I could not see it anywhere. So select the option that correctly tracks the progression of emotions. So what kind of emotions was experienced by the narrator in the given extract? So the answer is A, excited, surprised, relieved, grateful, perplexed, right? So why he was excited? He was excited because he came out of the storm. He was surprised to see the empty sky, right? So he was relieved to land safely in Dakota, and he was grateful towards the other pilot who guided him so safely, and he was perplexed to know that there was no other aeroplane flying that night. So the answer is excited, surprised, relieved, grateful, perplexed. If you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. This was a small effort made by me to make this text intelligible to all. So by doing these MCQs, we are also trying to understand the chapter in depth. So thank you for watching. Please do share your comments too and ask your friends to subscribe to my channel. This is an attempt to help everybody who is writing board exams, that is term 1 this year. Thank you for watching.